Alright, what up everyone? I'm here to bring you a very important update on 1inch. I see a lot of very interesting things happening in the technicals here. So in this video, I'm going to run through some technical analysis, talk about what I see happening both short term and long term, explain what this is, and explain the massive opportunity I see with this project. So if you like the sound of that, please like, subscribe, comment, and share, and hit that bell icon to be notified of new upload. So before we delve into the chart, the technicals, and talk about what's going on here, let's kind of just explain what this is. So for those who don't know, 1inch is a aggregator. It's a DEX aggregator. So it's a decentralized exchange that scours all of the decentralized exchanges to find you the best prices on your trades. Not only that, you can place limit orders on your trades. So it's essentially a much better version of Uniswap. So not only is it a much better version of Uniswap, but they also have liquidity pools where you can farm your cryptocurrencies and earn insane interest rates. Look at this, 140%. 250% on opium. Jesus, I need to buy myself some opium. And all these different cryptos. So this is a project that I could see a lot of people wanting to use, and more adoption as this space and this asset class grows and matures. And I can see this doing well regardless of the boom and bust cycles, the bear and bull cycles. I can see this doing well and getting adoption regardless of that narrative. So this is a good project with good fundamentals, improving on the niche, very compelling, growing use case. And aside from that, it's not a low market cap, but it's not a high market cap either. It's 400 million market cap. In terms of the ranking of all crypto, it's number 110. Now, if we compare 1inch to another project that's somewhat comparable, PancakeSwap, which is essentially Binance's smart chain centralized exchange. Okay, this is gaining a lot of notoriety as the Ethereum gas fees have been rising, but ultimately I think Ethereum's pretty likely to win out in terms of the usage wars and what smart chain will be adopted, because look, Cardano and Polkadot, both coins I like, both coins I own, are essentially trying to do what Ethereum 2.0 is trying to do, except Ethereum already has all the developers and all the users. So I place a heavy bias in terms of what I think is likely to succeed in the future on the Ethereum projects. And so yes, all the hype right now is behind Binance Smart Chain in their DEX and their but I think it's just a matter of time before that hype starts to move over to something like 1inch. And if we look at PancakeSwap, it has a market cap of 1.5 billion. 1inch has a market cap of 400 million. So I could definitely 100% see 1inch one day taking and surpassing PancakeSwap's place in the market. I could definitely see 1inch having a market cap well over the billions, 1.5 billion, 100%. I could 100% see that. I would not be the least bit surprised if by the peak of this bull run, 1inch is $50 to $100. I think the mid to high tens of dollars makes sense for 1inch, in my opinion, near the end of this bull run. So I think 1inch, in terms of its competitors, has a lot of room to grow and go up. It has a very compelling use case, limit orders and better prices on your trades, and it already has a very compelling yield farming capability as well. So I like 1inch. I've recently been buying into 1inch. And I want to make a video specifically on 1inch specifically right now, because 1inch has been correcting quite a bit. So if one were so inclined, there's potentially a very good buy the dip opportunity with 1inch right here. So I've highlighted what I believe are some very, very key support and resistance levels to look out for to understand what the next big move with 1inch is. So I think I've highlighted two key support and resistance areas. Whatever way we break out of these two areas, I think will be very telling for future price action. I think kind of the key area for 1inch to remain bullish is, like, I'd say 1417 to 1420, because if you look at the 4 hour, the 200 EMA on the 4 hour is right here. That's 1417 to 1420 right there. If we cannot hold this level, because we're testing the 200 EMA literally at the time of recording as we speak. If we cannot continue holding this as support, then I do think we're going for that further leg down. I think $4 probably makes a lot of sense in terms of our next short-term stop if we break down. If that doesn't hold, I think kind of our next stop is did my voice just crack there? I think our next stop is very likely to be $3.80 to $3.70. There's a lot of volume building up in these regions, a lot of sideways price action, so I do think we fall there. And ultimately, I think the most important level is the 200 EMA on the 6 hour. Okay, that's where we found support last time we corrected, and that's currently from, I think, 350 to $3.40. So if this area doesn't hold, I think it's perhaps likely that eventually we retest this area here. I think another good gauge to try and understand what 1 inch will do in the short term here is understanding what kind of, I think we're forming somewhat of an ascending triangle here as well. This green support line based off these 2 wicks here, really these 3 wicks here, and the resistance level being, I'd say, from $4.70 to, I'd say, right about $5. I think that's the key inflection point for 1 inch. If and when we can get above this key level here, this is the VPVR point of control where we had the most volume. If and when we can get above these levels, I think we're very likely to see bullish continuation, get above all-time highs, and enter price discovery. So I think that's kind of the most important resistance level we need to look out for. And as well, I think we'd also draw a slanted resistance, kind of a macro descending triangle based off these wicks here. So, I mean, based off this micro ascending triangle, we have, let's say, 3 days before breakout. The more macro one, I'd say just over a month and a half or so before we break out of this macro descending triangle here. And again, I think over the long term, I think kind of the tens of dollars for 1 inch makes some degree of sense. And these green areas are my support regions. Each one of these green areas is where I would start to look to dollar cost averaging my way into 1 inch if I were so inclined. I'm not a financial advisor. These videos are not financial advice. You need to decide what's best for yourself and come up with your own investment and trading strategy. This is just what I would be. This is just what I would be doing. If this level here does not hold, I think we're I think we're retesting $3. And aside from $3, I think the key levels after that is $2.70 to $2.50, and then $2. Yeah, I'd say kind of $2 to $1.65. No guarantee that we fall that low, although I do want to entertain the possibility that we enter a kind of August 2.0 scenario. So for those who haven't been in crypto since August, back in August, we had a massive DeFi rally where everything pumped back in August, and then everything crashed and corrected and consolidated for weeks in about a month or two, and then shot up and blew up. So I mean, if we start to fall below these key support levels, I think the more support levels that we fall through, the more likely it is that we see a bearish continuation. Now, that may sound obvious to some people, but I think it is worth stating it in that way. I think kind of the key level of this descending triangle here is $3. As long as we remain above $3, I think 1 inch still has a good chance of breaking out bullishly. If we start to fall below $3, I think something very likely like August 2.0 will play out. We're in where we enter an extended consolidation and correction phase that could last weeks, a few short months. But I do think over the long term, 1 inch has a very good chance of performing very well over the long term. Great fundamental use case, lots of users, great niche, very compelling project. I could see this being adopted and people wanting to use this regardless of the boom and bust, bear cycle and bull cycle narratives that exist in crypto. And one of the great things people can do to try and look for projects that have a very good chance of doing very well over the long term is you want to find the project that millions, tens of millions, hundreds of millions, billions of people will want to use. And 1 inch is one of those platforms that I think over the long term more and more people will use. So that's why I'm so bullish on 1 inch and why I wanted to bring you guys this opportunity. So if you like this video and you like what we do, you want to support us, like, subscribe, comment, and share, and hit that bell icon notified of new uploads. As well, check out our Patreon, link for that down in the description below. You get access to our VIP Discord group where we talk about low cap gems, interesting setups, that kind of thing. We'll also be giving away a hardware wallet randomly to one of the first 100 Patreon members who join our Patreon. As well, join our regular Discord. We offer tons of free technical analysis resources. We post interesting articles we find, and we just talk crypto all the time. In fact, we interact and talk to our Discord members regularly. We have coin calls where we review the market and talk about what we see happening in the market all the time. So join our Discord and stay tuned with us, folks. That's it for now. Take care.